So I thought I'd make a video of what I've been doing, and the software that I use is uh, one of these three, but it's primarily Cyclone Register 360, as the name implies. It's one of uh, um, like software packages for registering scans. There's the BLK 360 version, but I haven't been using that because I've primarily been using the E57 files that I save. I was like saving them as E57 files rather than Cyclone proprietary files because then you're trapped having to use Cyclone. But then on the other hand, you lose the advantage of being able to go directly into this software. I think I don't have much experience using the other software. If I click on it, it'll start up. It checks for the license. It is, and all the users complain about this, it is very demanding on having a license. And there are many times it just simply won't start because even though you have a license, it doesn't have it. And it's weird. You just keep trying and trying and trying, and eventually it recognizes you have a license. There are two licenses now. I think this one is about to expire, and so it's letting you know that it has another one, which is okay. So that's okay. So I will miss that. And then I had started a project here called example, but I'll start a new one. So I'm going to create a project. I'm going to call it example 2 and say okay. And then here is what the landing page looks like for a new project. And you can see that there is a way to go from the scanners to Field 360. And I have a feeling that watching what Maddie was doing, that this might actually have some advantage where registration actually occurs in the field. And I think registration is easier when you have trees. It's pretty hard when you have soft vegetation, but it'll be interesting to try this summer and see what happens. Okay, but I'm just going to browse the files, and then I'll go to the uh, drive, which holds all of the Toolik stuff. I'll go to Toolik 2023, and then I'm going to go to B1, block 1. And then for each block, there is 4 scans on a side. And we do both the left and the right side. So there's actually 8 scans in total. And each of the walkways is actually dividing 2 of the treatments. So I tend to use the walkway on the right to indicate what treatment it is. So these would be on the right of the control. These would be on the right of the FO5. These would be on the right and so forth. And then, of course, you wind up having the last one, which I just called last. And it'll be at the very end. Here we go. At the very last part on the left side. When I say right and left, I'm referring to looking east from the west side of the plot. You'll see that one. So I'm going to open up one here. It takes a little while to open the file. I will pause the scanner while it's doing that. So here is the file. You can load as many as you want, and then you say import. Usually I'm loading 4. So I'm going to import now and then pause the recording. Okay, here we are. And you can see that it successfully imported the scanner data. And I can move this around by doing a right click on the mouse. This is a Windows, by the way, and this is a graphic tablet. And a very large one. it's quite a fancy one. And then if I press down on the shift, I can then rotate this. And the blue dot indicates it's a scan. So if I had uploaded several scans, it would be, you'd see several blue dots, and they would be all over the place. And the idea now is for you to register them. Now, there's going to be 4 of these going up the left side of the control. You can see the control plot's actually not at the edge of the block. And this is the west, and that's the east. You could, work with north at the top and south, but for me, just because of what I'm doing, this is a little bit easier. And up here in the edge, it shows the images. And you can see there we are. There's the walkway, and that's the traffic cone, which I thought would be these great markers, and they turned out not to be good markers at all. They're very shiny, and so I think light bounces off of it quite a bit, and it creates these weird orange scatters. It just doesn't show up as much as I'd hoped it would. We'll try again. I mean, I do okay, but it would be nice if we had other kinds of markers. We can zoom in and see what we're looking at, and zoom out as well. This is fairly low resolution because right now you're just doing the registering. This gives you a sense of what it looks like. Now I'm going to go get a second scan so that we can try registering another one. Now the window here has been moved over to give me more space, but I can import another file. And this time I'm going to go to control 2, and I will know where that one belongs. Okay, again, I'm going to import that, and I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, there's the second one. And you might say, well, where is it? We can see them both here. Now, if we shrink down, we'll see that CT2 is, I happen to know, is going to be east of Patton, probably around this close, even closer. And then I'm going to zoom up, and then I'm going to reduce this window so I can see things. Okay. So this was a CT1, and this is CT2. And I can tell from here, just because I know, that this needs to be rotated. And what that means is that I know that the walkway has to be down here on this walkway that's here. Now, you'll notice I was hoping there's the traffic cones that they can serve a bit as markers. And I'm going to line them up. So good markers really save you a lot of time. And then I'm going to go up here, and that looks, reasonably aligned. I see that there's this annoying pipe there. So that means that I want to I clicked on this one here to move it. So because I know those 2 pipes are going to be, I mean, that's one pipe. So that looks pretty good. And now you can click on 2 of them. And once you do that, you can do the visual alignment. Now, if I do the visual alignment, um, one is going to be colored in red and the other is going to be colored in blue. And the idea is to get these things to line up. So there usually are some markers around. That's the traffic cone, which is, I don't know why it looks like that. This pipe, which is annoying, actually can be very useful in terms of trying to register them. You have to remember that they're not exactly going to line up because, in fact, the scanner was scanning at different angles. So I'm guessing that these are square posts, and that's what's going to look like. Now you'll see that these ghosts here are me and Alonzo wandering around. And, as long as we stay on the walkways, we're not going to block any of the scans for this plot. So remember the scans are labeled according to the experimental treatment that's on the right. So this is the control. Now, I can see that I would like to maybe rotate this a little bit to get these lined up better. Not too bad though. And over here, you can either, get a 3D look at it, which I don't find particularly useful, except when doing the fine tuning. You can move it, in the XY, and then you can rotate one of the scans. So this would allow me to put my pointer down anywhere. Let's say I'm going to put it down in the center of the red here. And then when you extend the line, you can then rotate it. See, so I'm rotating it Um, and looks like, you know, maybe that's good. Now, that takes care of the X and Y. If you go to the side view, you'll see, there we are. I sometimes get rid of those because even though they're not going to be in the final scan, I just find them annoying. So I can go to this selection tool. I choose a polygon, and then I can curve around these people. I also worry maybe it might, screw up in the registering. Close it, and then I can delete the points inside. And you can see that there's some registering that needs to be done here from the side view. So I click on the side, and then I just move it up a bit, right? That looks around where we want to go. Now, the thing that you need to do is to correct for the tilt, because there's always slight differences in the tilt. And to do that, I'm going to maximize the view here. And you can sort of see that the red, this end of the red here is below the blue, and this end of the red is above. And then if I rotate it, I can sort of see, I can optimize, the view, so I can actually see just how much the tilt needs to be corrected. So this looks pretty good, and that I've mostly got them, looking down the side of the plane. And I can see that the blue represents one scan and the red represents another. I can say that I want to correct the tilt. And then if I go down here, and I think it's around, it looks like around the center here. And then I'm going to go like that. And then just, how now the blue and the red, I think, overlap as best they can. So I'm going to say correct tilt, that corrects it. And then I'm going to take a look at the other side, right? And you can see that some correction is needed here as well. This one, maybe more on the side rather than in the center. So I'm going to have this come down like that. Very hard to tell. Um, and then correct the tilt, then rotate. So this is where the registering is being done, right? Um, Tilt. And it's really just, kind of feeling your way around. There's no um, easy way to describe it. Um, Seems that, the presence of landmarks makes this easier. Let's go to the top view now. And the closer you get things, the faster the alignment will come. So I'm seeing like these ends here could be, tilted a bit better. So I'm going to go and do the tilt. I mean, do the rotate, and I'm watching how the sides of the walkway are lined up. Okay, so for example, these 2 points here are the posts. That's the edge of the walkway. I think it looks better. You'll find that as you go further and further away from the scanner, there's less and less to work with. So this is a lot more difficult with such fuzzy stuff. Um, However, if I go to the side view again, doesn't look too bad. Looks to me like maybe that could move up a bit. So I'm gonna see if I can move it up a bit. Uh, yep, and it looks like it might want another correction here. I will do that, right? Just having a feel for things really. It's, can't say it's more of an art than a science, right? And then I'll go to after I accept the correction, rotate again. And I don't know, that's looking pretty good. Let's try a little more correction here. Um, okay. Then I'm going to say join and optimize. And now it'll take its time to try and do that. We'll pause and come back. Okay, it took quite a while, I think more than half an hour. or so to do this, and it says that the link doesn't seem viable. It almost always says that. Do you want to keep or update it? And I'll say yes. It says one link was added and 0 links were modified. Okay, so there, that's the link. Now, if you do it a second time, now that we have this preliminary link and we go to visual alignment, and I just say join and optimize, it now focuses on that link. Um, and it shows you, what some of the error statistics are. Now, if these were two identical scans, all the points would line up and you'd expect that the distance between the points or the errors would be 0 because every point would be on top of every point if it was a perfect alignment. In this case here, we have two different sets of points taken by scanners, but of the same objects. And so it's not surprising that the points will not necessarily line up perfectly, but they'll be close, right? And here you can see we're looking at 6 mm, and most of the errors here are pretty small, 6 mm. And then the rest are, some of them are way out there, right? Like, some of the points that were seen in one scan weren't seen at the other scan at all because they were different distances. So we say, okay, just to see that, um, it now colors it green. And usually you get almost all of them green, and there would be in the end 8 of these scans. And we could explore them a little bit further. Now that we have this, we can take a look at the way the files are. We now have a bundle, and a bundle means that we have linked scans. And if we click on the bundle, we have the capacity to look at just the sitemap, which is what we're looking at now, right? Or we can go to the bundle cloud, okay? And this shows you what it looks like with the link scans. Here, it's not that there were many. It's just we tended to stand around here and move around a lot. So this looks like there's a lot of us here. And if you zoom in, you can sort of see um, that those two scans have come together pretty well. There's the traffic cones, and this, here's us, there's the walkway, and so forth. There's the traffic cone. Now you can see that the alignment's not great, right? It's not 100%. Like this should really be one flat thing. I feel like if we go to the walkway, it's not too bad. And you can see that it can actually get underground as well. So that's the fact that it can see to the bottom of the vegetation until it's the ground. So in the end, you want to clean up a lot of these points. And what I would do is, trim out just, and once I have all 8 scans, I would trim out that. So let's take a look at one of the more finished products. So I'm going to open a project, and then I'm going to say all the projects. I'm going to say merged, merged, and then I call all the merged files. So we have B4 merged, B3 merged, B2 merged. Here's B1 merged. Let's open that one. You'll say you're going to change your project. And say, okay. Slightly bigger. Well, not slightly, much, much bigger. So B1 will now have, 4 scans on every walkway, 8 per treatment. So here's a treatment, there's a treatment, there's a treatment, and these last are called last. And that's what it looks like. So we can, okay. So here's the all 8 of the scans, which have, all of the 40 scans, I guess it is. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 44 scans actually. And if we go to the bundle cloud, you can see that there we are, walking all around. We can turn off maps, turn off the links, which are turned off already, and then we can take a closer look. And as you can see, when you get close to it, it's easier when you slice it. To the, there's the vegetation. There's some tall plants there, the traffic cones, the walkways, and so forth.